This segment of our top 100 games of all time is sponsored by Game Toppers. Game Toppers LLC has more than a few solutions that transform almost any normal table into a sturdy and portable gaming table without breaking the bank. Their Game Toppers 4.0 Kickstarter is launching on October 24th, so be sure to check out all the new products they have coming and stop by GameToppersLLC.com for everything they currently have to offer you, from game toppers to playmats and more.
All right, folks, here we are, the creme de la creme of our top 100 games of all time, the top 10.
Top 10. Holy cow. Here we go.
Awesome. So these are the best 20 games that we have to offer you par excellence.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's hit it!
Before you hit it,
Uh-oh.
I want to tell everybody right now, me and my wife, we sat down last night. We sat down last night. We wrote down Sam's top 10 games in here. We sealed the envelope. So at the end of this, we're going to flop it open and see how well we did. Until then,
so
sealed envelope.
Consider that the end credit scene of the Marvel movie. Not quite as cool, maybe, but it'll be probably just as shocking because he's like a
some of them are pretty good. Some of them are shots in the dark, but it'll work.
You never know. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
All right, my number 10. A number 10 game of all time. Now, this might be a little shocking. This is yet another abstract strategy game.
Oh, no, I didn't pick one. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Another abstract
strategy game. And this one I've had in my collection for a long time. It has a little bit of sentimental flavor to it because this is the one game that I whooped Jason Levine at.
Nice.
I mean, whooped him. It was when we had...
You didn't get to do enough research?
That's probably so. He was probably drugged, half asleep. I don't know. This is from Arcane Wonders. It's part of the Dice Tower Essentials line. Onitama.
Oh.
Onitama is my
nice.
number 10. And when Tom was thinking about putting it into the Dice Tower Essentials line, and before we reviewed it and everything, they had not a prototype version, but it was like from the original publisher version. And we were playing it at a steakhouse in Florida, and I whooped Jason. And then he proceeded to whoop me from there on out.
He had it figured out.
Because it's one of those games where you can play over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
And it continually changes. But this is great. I love the fact that you're only using 5 cards during the entire game, and those 5 cards are just being recycled.
Back and forth.
And you literally give your opponent the cards they need to whoop you if they beat you. That's one of the cool things I like about this game. Has a very chess-like feel to it as far as how it plays out, but it's not like chess at all. It just kind of gives you that vibe. I really enjoy it a lot. It's a great 2-player game. The expansions have done a little bit for it, but I really kind of prefer the base game as far as that's concerned. But the expansions, Way of the Wind, and they came up with a whole bunch of different cards as well. Way of the Wind is okay. It's all right. I prefer the original game, but that's my number 10, Onitama.
Very, very cool. That's awesome. My number 10, we will just consider it our 16th and 17th crossover. Don't spit it on the table.
I can't spit it.
Don't spit it on the table.
Beautiful mat. No. I can't do it. All right, 16 and 17?
16 and 17.
Oh, my goodness.
Any guesses?
No, I can't guess.
All right.
I'm not on the same
My number 10 is Zombicide.
Okay.
Specifically Undead or Alive.
Okay.
But Black Plague as well. They're all lumped in here together. So you had Undead or Alive and Black Plague previously.
So this is like a 2-for-1 deal.
There's a 2-for-1.
So it's only one spot, but it counts as 2 crossovers.
That's right.
Super.
And that was your number 11 was Black Plague. So my number 10 was, and really, I love Black Plague. We've played a ton. Undead or Alive added just some things, like I said, getting rid of the doors and the interior building spawns and the classes of the characters. And, missions that say you can't have any brawlers or you can't have any, gunslingers. Plus the train that drives through the town.
Yeah.
You know, just all of those kind of things. It's just a little more streamlined. Mechanics are really good, but it's just Zombicide.
Cool.
And it's super fun.
Yep, I like it. That's a good pick. It's a really fun game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was deeper down my list of 100 games, but the Undead Alive one. But yeah, I just really like that game, dude. That system is amazing.
The system is solid and a blast.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
All right, my number 9 is another kind of hidden role game, but this is like the hidden role game of hidden role games, in my opinion. And I am talking about a game here, not an activity. Any ideas?
No.
Deception. Murder in Hong Kong.
Okay, I could have had that idea.
Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. You actually thought I was saying it earlier. But Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, I love this game. I specifically love being the forensic scientist, the one that's giving out the clues. I love trying to do that and do it well. Sometimes I do really well. Sometimes I fail horribly. But it's just the process of trying to use what I have in front of me to give everybody the clues that they need in order to accomplish their deeds. Of course, the other inspectors. But it's so fun sitting back and just watching that social experiment take place.
Frustrating.
Sometimes it's super frustrating. I usually say in games like this, the more the merrier. So you can actually, I think, with the second edition or with the expansion, you can go up to 12. You can go up to 12 people playing this game. I don't know.
I played it at like 8.
I don't know if I would do that, but I do think that you should use a smattering of all of the different roles that are offered within the game. I think you should use as many of those as possible, but I would probably cap it off at about 8.
Yep.
It's a really fun game, though. I know we're not really talking much about mechanics, but it's just so fun to. You basically have a murderer and accomplice that's trying to get away with murder. Everybody else are inspectors in one way, shape, or form. You might have, depending on some of the different roles that you have, you might have a guy in there that's trying to help the murderer and accomplice. The forensic scientist in the expansions, if you use this module, can actually switch sides and start helping the bad guys. So
that's horrible,
and you won't know the difference. You won't know the difference. You have to discern when that took place. So there's just so many different things. I've only played with it once. I don't know that I like it, but you can do it. It's one of those things where the diversity of the game is really outstanding. And the simplicity of the game is outstanding. It really is a social experiment with a lot of different
components. It is a social experiment. That's a good way to put it. I played it a lot. We've played it a ton. Played it a lot with Melissa's family. It's funny, her uncle one time, we were playing with him, and he was the murderer, and I put the first bullet down, and, everybody's talking, but I could see him going colored, and then I put the second bullet down, and you could say he just started to shake like it was making him nervous. And by the time I put the third bullet down, I'm not even joking, he's like, "Why don't you just tell him it's me?"
Play poker with that guy.
Yeah, play poker with that guy. But it is a social experiment, especially after you play it several times in a row, because then everybody gets more and more and more nervous and tense. But yeah, that's a great game.
Super good. That's my number 9, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
Amazing. My number 9 is another game that definitely brings tension to the table, but not in the same way. My number 9 is Nemesis. And all things Nemesis, huh?
I've not played this game.
I love this. We love this game so much. Huge fan of the Alien franchise in the first place, and this really gives you that feeling. And just everybody trying to do their own thing, and got to set coordinates on the ship. You got to make sure the engines are running, and you're like, "Hey, run down there to check the engines." And somebody runs down like, "Oh yeah, they're really good," and then they leave, and somebody drops an airlock in front of the Queen, and then your medic gets stuck in there. So thematic. Like every single time it's thematic. It's hilarious. There is a possibility in here of player elimination early on. It can happen. But if it happens to me, I'm probably going to sit there and watch the whole game play out anyways. It's just
That's a cool thing.
Such an intense thing. And there's a couple versions. Lockdown puts you on a planet trying to escape the planet. And there's also different alien races that you can put in that give very different feels. So
that's cool.
I love Nemesis.
That's amazing. I got to play this game. It's just that it just hasn't coincided. That's the only problem.
Every time I say Nemesis, Mel says, we have to play this with Jess. That's what she says.
We will do it, then.
It is the truth.
Mark it down.
My number 9 is Nemesis.
Cool beans. All right. My number 8 is a brand spanking new game to the list.
Ooh.
It rocketed up to
on.
my top 10 because I have yet to play and or teach this game, and everybody didn't love it.
Yeah.
There have been varying degrees of liking it, but more often than not, everybody that plays this game loves it walking away from it, and that is Flamecraft. Flamecraft is just, I love worker placement games, and this is like simplistic worker placement at its foundational level. But it still carries that worker placement feel, and I love how, I think it's what not Beth Sobel, Sarah Tang, Sandara Tang. I think it's Tang. I know it's Tang. S. Tang. They'll put it that way. I think, man, my brain don't work right, but it's close to that.
Whoever
anyway,
it is,
the artist did an amazing job of making these dragons look so freaking cute, but cool at the same time.
Yep.
And another cool thing about the game that I really liked, and this is not having to do with mechanics at all, the fact that all of the different shops have that little twist, nuance to their name, to where it's Draco Bell instead of Taco Bell.
Very clever. Yeah.
And it's super clever stuff. And all of the names of the dragons that were all given their own specific names, those are all cleverly named as well.
Yep.
So a lot of time went into the details.
Yep.
And that's what I like about it. The simplicity of choosing if you're going to gather or if you're going to enchant, and how you're going to score points, what you're going to place down, what dragons you're going to fire off. All of this was so much fun to me, and I bought the game on a whim. I was like, everybody else is saying this is so cool.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah, you did, and it is a really great game. Yep. I love the way how you only start with a few areas. But every time people go there, they start leveling, and those areas are leveling up. For the next time you go to a shop, it's leveled up. But not only that, but you're getting new cool shops, so your decision space is continuing to grow and expand. And it's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's cool
awesome.
Game.
Love it. That's my number 8, Flamecraft.
There is a new one coming out in the same line, I suppose.
I think so. Yes,
based one or something. So that'll be fun to try.
Yep.
All right, my number 8 is space themed game.
Ooh.
Where you're trying to take over and control the galaxy. Now, this is not that space themed game. This is a Euro version. No, this is Gaia Project. I knew that was going to come out of him. Gaia Project, you are exploring, terraforming planets.
Swallowed it. It's okay.
Expanding your civilization, creating federations within the, what do you call it? Whatever.
Trashy.
Between all of the planets. It's very, very tight. You have a player board that every decision makes, is very difficult. Because every time you're putting out a new small building, you're getting a little bit more resources. But when you upgrade to a different building, you're losing the resources. It's just constant back and forth. It's really, really, really good, really crunchy. New version coming out, Age of Innovation, that I'm waiting to show up.
Maybe they fixed it.
Oh, I can't wait.
Maybe they fixed it. So it's actually enjoyable this time.
I love Gaia Project so much.
Actually, I can't say that. I have to come clean. I've never played Gaia Project. But it's based on a game that I hated.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's a science. It's
a science.
Terra Mystica, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hated Terra Mystica. Hated. Loathed entirely Terra Mystica, so I did not even try to play Gaia Project.
And Gaia Project's a little more complicated than Terra Mystica. It adds some tech tracks that are going up as you're upgrading your technologies and your distances and those kind of things. So but Age of Innovation is coming, so here we go.
Oh, thank you.
My number 8, Gaia Project. I don't think he's going to like any of my top 10 or any of my top 6 anyway.
I don't know.
We'll see.
All right. My number 7 is a cool space-themed game. And I have very affectionately referred to this game in the past, as well as other people, as Star Wars in a box. And that is Star Wars Rebellion.
I was going to say, you already did Outer Rim, right?
That's the Star Wars universe
Gotcha.
in a box. If you want original trilogy in a box, this is your Huckleberry. Star Wars Rebellion. They do have an expansion that was based on the Rogue One movie. I can't remember what the name of the expansion is, but it fits seamlessly into this because Rogue One tied in so seamlessly to the original, the beginning of the episode 4. So Star Wars Rebellion is the original trilogy in a box, and it is amazing. You can play as 2. You can play 2 to 4 players. If you play 4 players, then 2 people act together as the Rebellion, 2 people act together as the Empire, and it's just the Empire versus the Rebellion. The Rebellion's trying to rebel. The Empire's trying to stamp out the Rebellion. And if the Empire finds the rebel base and then I think destroys it, then they've won. And then if the rebels can last a certain number of rounds, then they will. That will be the birth of the Rebellion.
Yeah,
and
I win if I survive.
Exactly. That's how it is in a tyranny. You have to survive. You have to live to fight another day.
All right.
So that's what Star Wars Rebellion is all about. I love the game. It is. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. If you didn't realize it, but it's just one of those games where it will never leave my collection. Even if I never play the game again, it will never leave my collection because I will always have an inkling to say, you know what, I think I'd like to play that game now.
Yeah,
and so I'm never going to make it to where I can't do that. So that's my number 7, Star Wars Rebellion.
Awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm just kidding. It does.
I'm just kidding. It doesn't sound like it at all.
All right. My number 7 is another Euro game called Brass Birmingham.
Oh, boy, dude. You just dropped your coolness at the door, man.
I know. Brass Birmingham, for one, has the coolest graphical design. I mean, I just love the board. I love the way that the cards are gorgeous. I mean, it really fits what I like to see as far as the visual aspect. And then the very thinky, very timely, you're creating a network of coal mines and, iron mines and things like that. And you're using the market that's on the board if you don't have enough coal and iron, but you're creating all different kinds of resources or all different kinds of goods, and then you're trying to ship them out. And it is just a really tight, fun. Yeah, I know.
Man,
I told you.
Dude, I had such high hopes for you. All 90 up until now, and now you just kind of throw all the cool stuff out the window.
I love Brass Birmingham.
I played Brass before it became like there was Brass Birmingham and
original Brass.
I played the original Brass, and I was like, man, this is like work. I didn't mind it.
Work. Yeah.
I didn't mind it, but it's just not one of those games that I want to come back to and play over and over and over again because I feel like I'm working.
And the initiative track, you have to, depend on how much money you spend, where you land on the initiative track. So if you spend less, you get to go first, and all those kind of things. And you have to take out loans, and it's work. All right, it's great work.
Z used to talk about games like this. He's like, I'm playing a game, and I'm worried about getting a phone call. Hey man, you owe me money.
That's right. That's exactly right. So my number 7 is Brass Birmingham.
All right. Hopefully it'll get better.
It might.
All right, my number 6 is a game by Academy Games, and this is the first of, I think, no less than 3 Viking games in my top 10.
Ooh, the first of 3.
The first of 3. Wow. And that is 878 Vikings. And contrary to what Stephen Bonacore thought a while ago, 878 is not the number of Vikings that were invading. It was the year that the Vikings invaded.
Oh, that makes sense.
So, yeah, that's what it is. But this is a great game. Also, 2 to 4 players. You can play just with a Viking player and an English player. Or you can have 2 Vikings
English player.
And 2...
Poor English guy.
3 English and 1 Viking. That's all we need is what?
That's all you need.
But this is just a great retelling, I guess you could say, because that's what Academy Games is all about. They're all about the historical settings and getting it right historically. So this is just a great game about that whole thing. Area control.
Mechanisms?
Huh?
What are the mechanisms?
You have, man, why you put me on the spot like that, brother?
Well, how do you get there?
There's a lot of card play.
Okay.
There's playing cards out of your hand. There's moving the people around. There is some dice combat as well. There's a cool mechanism in the game where the king, man, I can't remember his name now. Frick. When he comes back, he brings a whole bunch of people with him for the English. And so you're kind of fighting and preparing and trying to take as much of that much land as you possibly, because you're going to get hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
So there's that to it as well. So I just really enjoy the game. A lot of mechanisms do put me on the spot. I'm kicking them off.
I like mechanisms.
Yeah, he likes mechanisms. He likes theme too.
I've been hearing about this game in your list for a long time. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, it's in there.
Well, I mean, I might have saw the side of a box, the end of a box.
All right, we're playing it now.
878 Vikings.
He's calling me out. I ain't never played Nemesis neither.
That's true.
Right.
Something's wrong with you. All right. His number's 6, 878 Vikings.
That's right.
Mine, 8.78 Vikings, I think is what it is. But
please be a good game.
My number 6 is not a good game for him, anyways. My number 6 is. Wait a second. Hang on a second. Quick check. Oh, pretty close. Never mind. I was gonna say it's the highest Euro game I got, but that's not true. My number 6 is Kanban EV.
This is not bad.
By Vitalis Lacerda.
This is not bad. Vitalis Lacerda is a great designer.
It's such a tight, finely tuned game. You're making cars, you're designing them, you're developing them, but really there's only 5 worker placement spots to go right down the row. So every decision you make, whether you're going to R&D or whether you're going to, the administration, every decision you make is extremely important. And in all 5 of those areas, you have to train and get your training level up. You have to become proficient in those areas. And the coolest thing about it, not the coolest thing about it, but in each of the spots, you can either do 2 or 3 actions, but it's basically like days or work hours in a work shift, right? But the whole time, your boss Sandra's chasing you around, and she's going to the department. And when she walks in the R&D department, she does some cleanup in there because she's the boss, right? She's coming in, she's checking the department out. She makes a couple changes, and then she sees who's doing good and bad in that department, and she penalizes whoever's not pulling their weight. Penalizes. No, yeah, she's mean. And when she gets down to the bottom, you have a weekly meeting where you go in and you tell your boss how you did and what your quotas were and everything.
You really have to do that?
Yeah, you have a meeting at the end of every week, a performance evaluation meeting. And if you play the solo play game of this, is really cool because you can get fired because everybody else on the floor is trying to make you look bad. Yeah, and then it's really good. Talk about a tight, amazing game.
I like simulations, but that seems like a little over the top.
It's so neat.
I don't want to get fired in a board game.
So very neat, but you can get fired in this board game.
Interesting. I guess that's the same thing as player elimination.
Yeah, my number 6. Well, if you're only playing solo, player elimination just means your game ended early.
All right, my number 5, the 5th game in my top 100, and this is another crossover. He had it further down the list, but it's higher on the list because it deserves to be higher on the list. And that is the second of 3 Viking games.
Second Viking game? Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Which one is it?
Huh?
Which one is it?
Midgard.
Champions of Midgard.
My brain flipped there for a second. Champions of Midgard.
Champions of Midgard is great. I'm going to go a step further. I think I said this when you had it on yours. You must buy the expansions.
Yep.
This game is complete with the expansions. It's good without the expansions. It's great with the expansions.
Yep.
So you need to get, I think it's called Valhalla and the something mountains. What was it called? The darkest.
The Dark Mountains.
Dark Mountains.
Dark
There you go.
Mountains, yeah.
Those are the two expansions. You got to get them. It's going to be extra money, yes. It's worth it because the amount of value and play that it adds, that those two things add to the game, is great. 100%. It's just super good. So we've already talked about it on his list, so I won't belabor the point here. But my number 5, Champions of Midgard.
So let's remember his number 5 is a really good hybrid game, right? You call that a hybrid game? Okay, absolutely. We're going to remember that.
Absolutely is a hybrid.
Okay, that's an awesome pick. It deserves to be number 5. It does.
It is.
It's a great game. My number 5, it's either Euros or Dudes on a Map, I guess, in this set, which is okay because they deserve to be here. But my number 5 is called Cthulhu Death May Die.
Okay, finally, some good games showing up on your top 10.
It redefined what Dudes on a Map is. It redefined Mansions of Madness plus Zombicide. It redefined the whole genre in the fact that, you have these characters and they're very asymmetric.
Yeah.
Significantly more asymmetric than in some of those other games. Mm-hmm. And you're leveling them up and they have really cool things they do, but you're leveling them up based on how insane they're going. So you have an insanity track across the top, and as that moves down, your characters get stronger and stronger and stronger, but if you ever hit the end of that insanity track, you just die. You're done. And then you have life and you have stress, and stress is used for rerolls. But you grab a great old one. It could be Cthulhu, it could be the Black Goat, it could be Dagon, it could be anything like that, and then you grab a scenario and you basically mix those two things together, and then you take your investigators in to these very thematic, very well put together scenarios, and it is so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much fun.
I have only ever played this game in its prototype form, but I still count my blessings because I was able to play it with Eric Lang and the other designer. His name escapes me right now, but with both of them sitting there talking.
Rob Davio?
Yes. Okay. Sitting there talking about the changes they're going to make based on the play that we were doing at that particular moment in time.
Yeah.
And it ranged anywhere from, well, that's not very good, we're going to think about taking that out, to, oh, that was too easy, we're going to make that harder.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And it's like, harder? This is already freaking hard. Mm-hmm. It's like, no. It's not punishing enough. We need to make it more punishing. And it was just a really cool experience. I was able to do it at the gathering of friends, but I had a great time playing that prototype version. I've never played the actual production copy because I left the Dice Tower before it came in there, and this guy never plays it with me.
Yeah. Well, the truth is I don't think I've ever brought it to the table because you're not a huge Cthulhu fan.
I'm not. And that's absolutely true. But something like this...
Yeah, and the other neat thing about this one is there's a lot of games like this, like Match of the Madness or whatever else, where you might be trying to skirt or get out in time. In Cthulhu Death May Die, your end goal is to beat that old one on the board.
Yeah, you can't just survive.
You got to beat him into the dirt, and it's really cool.
Yep, I agree. Good pick.
That's my number 5.
Finally, we only had to go through 5.
There you go.
I wonder if he has any left.
I have some good ones left. The truth is, they're all good.
My number 4 is a game that I was just introduced to a few months ago. And this is another one. This is the second one of my top 10 that is brand new to the list. And that is Marvel Dice Throne. Now, I say Marvel Dice Throne because I have not played Season 1 or Season 2 Dudes. I know that I'm pretty sure that the mechanisms in Season 1 and Season 2 are pretty much the same, just different characters. And Marvel is just the same game, but it's with Marvel characters and not, vanilla Season 1, vanilla Season 2. So I guess you could say this could just be Dice Throne.
Sure.
But I'm really, really looking forward to the X-Men.
I know.
Oh my goodness. Wolverine is coming out. I can't wait to get my hands on these things because I love X-Men. I love some of the things that they've come out with. And having those characters like Wolverine versus Thor. Come on. Who doesn't want to see that? Wolverine, oh man, I can't wait.
There's a lot of them. Rogue, I mean, Rogue's got to be amazing. Storm's they're all.
She can absorb other people's powers. Yeah. How is that going to work in dice?
I have no idea.
My goodness, I'm going to steal your dice, sugar.
Take this web and stick it on you. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
It's going to be so good. I'm pretty excited about
so that's my number 4. I want to thank who was it? I want to thank Bubba Stallcup is the one that told me. From Love Thy Nerd, he's the one that told me you need to buy this and do it. And then after I told him I got it, he was like, yeah, that's a great game. Yep. So that's my number 4, Dice Throne, Marvel Dice Throne.
Yeah. Dice Throne's a fantastic game. Fantastic game. My number 4 is my last Shem Phillips game. I'm sorry, Shem. I didn't put enough on here. No. My number 4 is my last Shem Phillips game.
Ran out of gas, Shem.
And my favorite of all of them, and it has been my favorite of all of them since the beginning, since I got this game, and that is Raiders of the North Sea.
It's the best one.
Raiders of the North Sea. Yeah, it's just so much fun. It's so thematic, and the whole taking one worker, putting one worker back, all that kind of stuff. But the whole going out and raiding, and the Valkyrie, and the Jarls, and this one is best too, with both of the expansions attached. I'll play the base game just fine, just for fun, regardless. But it's really good with both the expansions attached, especially when you have beer and things to spend.
Spending
beer, drinking it. You send your guys out, they drink beer that makes them stronger. Here, go to battle. Drink 4 of these.
10 foot tall and bulletproof.
That's right. But Raiders of the North Sea, I really love games that have turn angst. And this is like the premium turn angst game, right? Do not take my spot.
Not teen angst.
No, not teen angst. Yeah. Turn angst. I love it.
That's cool. I like that game. I don't know why Raiders of the North Sea didn't make my top 100. It probably should have, but I didn't remember it, I guess. But it's a good game. I don't know exactly where it would have fallen. I'm completely satisfied with my top 100 as is, but that is a really good game. That is a really good game. All right,
top 3.
My number 3. What do you think?
What do I think your number 3 is?
No. Yeah. What do you think? I'm just going to let you try and guess.
No, I don't want to guess. I already guessed.
I
already got my
guess. All right. This is one of those ones that, according to him, I probably should have lumped together with a whole bunch of other games. But I didn't.
Oh, no.
This is
Marvel Zombies?
Marvel Zombies. That is absolutely correct.
Holy
number
cow,
3.
You like it that much.
I love
that's
Marvel
amazing.
Zombies. It is my favorite version. I think I said this during our review, because that was our 2-dude review. I think I said it. This is my favorite version of Zombicide.
Yeah.
And it is. It absolutely is. I love the minis. I love the fact that you are the zombies fighting against all of the humans that are left that haven't been affected yet. I love that switch, that reversal, and just everything about it.
Yeah.
I like how you're so freaking powerful, but you can still be taken out.
Mm-hmm.
You can still be taken out, but just the right combination has to come in. So I just really enjoyed this game. I was super pumped to have been able to get a copy of it before you got yours.
Yeah.
You still haven't got yours.
No. I'm freaking bent. No. I'm still holding a grudge. So we'll see what happens next.
He's going to get a truckload more stuff than I have in it for us, so it's going to be worth the wait, I guess. But
yeah, I'm holding the grudge.
I love this version of Zombicide. They knocked this one out of the park, and they've got another one coming out.
Deceased. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, dude, man, the minis. I have to buy the game because it's got a Wonder Woman miniature in it, and Jess will probably make me sleep on a couch for a month if I don't. So she's shaking her head now, but.
I hope that they integrate.
They will. I would imagine they do.
I hope that they integrate well.
I mean, I can see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, there's a chance,
but I think they'd be shooting themselves in the foot for them not to. People are going to love having Superman go up against whoever.
Still, it's taking my money, right?
Yep, absolutely is. Yeah. So that's my number 3, Marvel Zombies.
Maybe someday, once it arrives. That's a really good pick.
That would have been on his list, Simon, if you
got
it to him.
Back in 40. It was number 40, right? Number
was
41.
It?
Yes.
It would have been higher then. There you go.
It might have been. All right.
Oh, so that's another crossover.
That was a crossover. Yeah. So then next year I have to decide if I'm going to lump them all together or not.
I wouldn't. Break those bad boys apart.
Take all the space.
Just have a solid top.
Of course, I should just have one out of my 100 that says Sean Phillips, and that's it. That's Jay McDonald.
That's right.
Phillips,
you didn't do that.
All right. So my number 3 is my most expensive game to date, for sure. A game that will go in my will to my son. That's not a joke. And I'm wearing this shirt right now.
So you better like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Too many bones. My number 3 is Too Many Bones.
You know why they named it Too Many Bones? Because you had to pay too many bones to buy it. That's what it was.
My number 3 is Too Many Bones. Just everything about it. 18 different gear locks. Lots of different characters to play with. Tons of different 20. I think it's 23 different enemies I have. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then just stacks of event cards. Everything about it. Production quality. Just the way it plays. I enjoy this game.
When you teach people how to play Too Many Bones, do not make them drink from the fire hose.
That's true.
That was the first time.
Yeah.
That was my first experience with Too Many Bones, and I was like, don't want to play this ever again.
Yeah.
We played Unbreakable, and he just kind of trickled it on me, and I really enjoyed the process. I really enjoyed the game. So how you teach games matters.
It does matter.
It matters a whole lot.
But by the time you got done with that game, you were like, hey, I really like this character. I'd like to learn more about this character.
Yeah.
I mean, the characters are really cool.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
And Chip Theory, they are some great people. Some great people. So throw them all your business, people. I'm serious. They're great. They're great dudes.
I'm on board. My number 3, Too Many Bones.
Very cool. Good pick. Only 2 left.
2 left.
Only 2, and then we're done.
We got to start over. Just kidding. We got to start playing 150 more games so we can start. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. My number 2 is a war simulation game that I have loved from its inception. I've been able to meet the designer. The designer is a tremendously great guy, Richard Borg, and he is just a phenomenal person, and I've loved everything that he's put out for this game, and that is Memoir 44. Memoir 44, World War II simulation type of game where it's kind of, I use the word simulation lightly because it is highly abstracted. It is not very detail oriented where you're having to worry about logistics and all of this other kind of stuff. No, there are ways to do that with the campaign books. You do get the opportunity with the campaign books to do a little bit of that, but it's nothing like the traditional like chit pushing war games that are out there. Nothing like that at all. But it is, I still consider it a war game-ish type of thing, and it is great. I love it. I can't tell you how many people have come up to me at conventions since I've started talking about this and saying, hey, we play this with my son, or hey, I play this with my daughter, or our family plays this all the time, and we just enjoy it. We love reading the historical things, all of the different scenarios, that kind of stuff. I just super like everything about this game. I wish they were still making stuff for it, but they aren't. They're reprinting some of the stuff at this point, but they're not making anything else new, I don't think. So I wish they did. They actually have a thing every, not every year, but I think on some of the bigger anniversaries of the end of World War II where they actually have a tournament.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Over
They've
in
got
Normandy.
a couple of tournaments. Yeah.
I wish I could go to that. That would be great. I'd be able to go visit Normandy. I'd be able to, but that just hasn't happened. But Memoir 44 is a game that I think I would drop everything to play at any given time. Mm-hmm. If somebody wanted to say, I would say, I'll be right back and let's go learn how to play a Memoir 44. Yeah. I love the game. That's one of those things. So that's my number 2. Memoir 44.
You love history. You love war. I mean, the history of war. You love those kind of things.
Yeah.
And not war itself.
No.
But Yeah, Memoir 44. It's kind of funny because if somebody says, if out of all the content creators out there, like Sam Healy is connected to Memoir 44 in the hearts and souls of many people, and you know it's true.
Yeah, no, I'd probably say that. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but I would not disagree with it because a lot of people have come up and said, "Hey, I saw this and saw that." So
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, my number two. Is trying to stop the invaders. We're in this little island right here. We're going to try to stop the invaders. My number 2 is Spirit Island.
Oh,
Spirit Island.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah,
I thought it probably could be your number 1.
Spirit Island is such a fantastic puzzle. Mm-hmm. Again, you have these asymmetric spirits, of the land, of the sea, of the ocean, of the depths. You get spirits now that are, associated with all the animals and everything else. And it is best. Spirit Island in its core is good, but it's when you add Branch and Claw and you add, why can't I think of the last? But you add the expansions in there. They add little tokens. They add Strife and, Wildlands and, all these different little tokens. There's tons of different scenarios, but you're just spirits trying to keep the invaders off the islands. They're coming in here after the Dahan, and you may not even care about the Dahan. Some of the spirits, they really don't care. Some of them are very well connected to the people of the island, and they're very thematic, and it's all in card play and energy cost. And
it's more like the spirits are trying to protect the actual land.
The land itself, yeah. But there are spirits that work really good with the Dahan. There are spirits that work really good with the animals and stuff, and there's some that are just straight fear-based. The ocean guy, he reaches out there with tidal waves and grabs as many people as he can off the land and pulls them into the water. Like, they all thematically try to do whatever is within your power to keep these invaders off, and it's such a great puzzle.
Yep. I've only played this game a couple times, I think, back when we had it with the Dice Tower, and man, it was fun. Yeah. But it was also kind of very, my memory is that it was very unforgiving. Is that a right word?
Yeah, absolutely. It can be.
Like, if you made a mistake, you just made a mistake.
Yeah, you can make a mistake and survive.
Sure.
You might have to clean up your mess.
But. Yeah, but I mean, that's not really, I'm not saying that as a bad thing against the game. I'm just saying that's the one thing that I come away with. Yeah. I did enjoy my experience, and I'd love to play it with you guys because you guys like it so much. I like playing games with people that people like it a lot. Yep. Because that usually brings another.
When you get into it, it's a cooperative game too, right? So you're all sitting there talking about, oh, crud, I can't get over there. Can you stop this town? I can't do this. It really gets rid of the alpha player thing because there's no way you can control what is in everybody else's hand and keep track of everything unless you're like a genius. But so it's more peace and peace. I want to do this. But I can't touch these guys over here. What can you do? It's very intense cooperation.
That's cool.
Yep,
that's good. Good pick.
My number 2, Spirit Island.
See, it cleaned up after 5. We got to 5, and you started. You hit your strike. I think everybody on the face of the planet, or at least the people that are watching this video, know what my number 1 is.
This is the point where I thank Sam Healy for sitting next to me for 10 videos and going through a top 100 because it has been a pleasure.
No, it's absolutely fun. It's absolutely fun. Mm-hmm. And my number 10 is Blood Rage. It has not changed. I'm sorry, my number 1. I was looking at the 10.
I know, it's okay.
My number 1 is Blood Rage. And it has not changed. As a matter of fact, I think Blood Rage has only solidified its position on my list. Now, with that being said, I have taught this in the last few months, number of times, and there were people at the table that were like, I get why you like it, but I hate this game. And I get that. I've always said not all games are for all people.
Absolutely.
And I could love the game and you could absolutely hate it, and that is fine and dandy. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But I cannot fully assuage my love for this game. It's just so fun every single time I play it. And there are many times where I get slapped at it. So it's not that I'm very good at the game, and that's why I like it.
Yeah,
I just enjoy the mechanisms that are employed. I love the miniatures.
The miniatures are great.
How good they look.
The monsters are awesome. The board is really cool.
Yeah, and
the theme is great.
I'm at the point now where if somebody puts one of those monsters out on the board, I'm like, oh, okay, I know what they're about to do, or I know what they're trying to do, or I know what they're doing, and it's that kind of thing that just enriches my enjoyment of the game a lot more.
Yep.
So my number one has not changed, and it probably won't. I literally cannot think of a game right now that could have the chance of eclipsing Blood Rage at this point.
Nice.
So, and it's really funny, people, because when you talk to people who are not hobbyists, what's the first thing they ask you? If you tell them you're a board game fan, what's the first thing they ask you?
What's your favorite game?
What's your favorite game? And so I'm like, all right, US, here it goes. Blood Rage. And like the blood leaves their face.
What does that mean?
And then I have to tell them it's a game about Vikings and Vikings combat and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, oh, okay. But there's always that 1 second where they're like, do I have an axe murderer in my presence? But it's just what it is. My number one, Blood Rage.
Very, very
all right, here we go, man. What's your number one?
Well, last one of this whole list. My number one.
Numero uno. I have no idea.
No, you don't, actually. I don't even know you don't. My number one is called Dwellings of Eldervale.
What? Really?
Yes.
Oh, it's a great game.
Dwellings of Eldervale. You're creating this land based on 8 different elements. It's worker placement to the core.
Yep.
You start out with workers. You have 3 special meeples, which are really cool. You have a knight and a warrior and a dragon and a mage, which have special abilities. Each of those 8 different elements have 2 different factions associated with them. So there's 16 different factions you can play, and their meeples do different things, and their special abilities are different. But you're trying to control this board, or you're not trying to control the board. Really, what you're trying to do is get the highest affinity with specific elements, and to do that, you have to take over areas with that element on the board. You have to collect cards with that element as well. You're creating a tableau. The very cool thing is you never stop playing this game, right? You put out a worker, you do whatever it's supposed to do. When you don't have any workers left, or when you want to recall, you recall, and all of the cards that you've created in your tableau are all basically worker placement spaces. So everything you recall, you're doing more things. This, to me, as a Euro game, is very solid. There are monsters in the game that roam around the board, and really what the monsters are, just like in any other Euro game, is a modifier, or either a space modifier, something that tightens the board, or a modifier that gives special abilities while they're on the board. You can fight those monsters, and if you defeat them, you gain power in those elements, just like you would in the other methods. But these monsters can come and go.
You can take control of the monsters.
You can take control of the monsters as well. They're not undefeatable. They're not. One thing is the combat is dice rolling. So to me, this is just like
it's a hybrid.
It's very hybrid. It's very much, and it's my favorite hybrid for sure. But there is conflict on there. I can tell you, I have been beat in this game by somebody who didn't win one combat the whole night, because you can plan and work around losing. It doesn't matter. Not that you want to lose, but you can still lose combats and effectively use that to your advantage in other ways. So, I love Dwellings of Eldervale. I'm super excited. There's a new version coming out, not called Dwellings. I can't actually think of Andromeda's Edge, which is the space version.
Andromeda's Edge. That's a cool.
Which is the space version of this.
Yeah.
With big, beautiful pieces and everything else. And that's a Kickstarter game that's coming probably next year. But yeah, I really love this game.
You gonna buy that too?
Oh yeah, it's already bought.
It's already bought.
It's already bought. And then I have no idea what I'm gonna do when they're both in my top 100. But I love this game.
Cool. That's a good pick. I like it. All right. Well, let's go ahead and say goodbye. I know we still have the thing, but I told you it's going to be an end credit scene, so we're going to go do that. You have to come back until after the list happens. So I do want to thank our sponsor, Game Toppers, for providing this Holmes. It's a great platform. It's a great table. We have played. We played 2 games on this table today, and we've my wife and I played a whole bunch of games on it a couple days ago. So a lot of use. It has stayed on our dinner table. I do pull back the playmat if we're going to eat dinner on it, though. So I don't want you on playmats. But I really think that you guys should go check it out. He's got 4.0 Kickstarter coming up on October 24th. So just 11 days from today.
Days. Yeah,
11 days from today, but it's going to be not 11 days. It's going to be like 6 days away from whenever you're watching this. So anyway, go check out Game Toppers LLC, the website. Go check out their Kickstarter. All of those links are going to be in the description below. Thank you so much for enjoying. Thank you so much for joining us. We enjoyed ourselves. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well. Thank you to JT. He put a lot of work into his top 100.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
That too. I don't say
I know, that's all good.
But I always forget. He didn't, though. That's it for us. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.
See you later.
All right. Well, we're back. You lasted through the credits, and that was the list. So
right.
now we have
opening the envelope.
The envelope.
Envelope. And it is sealed, so there's no way I could have made any modifications to this during the list.
I saw him bring in like 3 different envelopes, so I don't know about that. Oh, it's even on a little card.
There we go.
I'm not looking at the card. All right,
so we're going to go, let's just go in order from top to bottom. Blood Rage.
Blood Rage, yes.
Number 1. Memoir 42. Number 2.
44, sir!
44.
What's wrong with you?
All right, then I skipped. I got Star Wars Rebellion.
Yep, that was on there.
I got Champions of Midgard.
Yep, that was on there.
I got Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
Wow, dude. If I'm anything...
I got Dice Throne.
What, you did?
Yep.
Damn it.
I got Marvel Zombies.
Are you serious?
Yep. I got Flamecraft.
You are freaking nuts. You're kidding me.
No, it's right there.
Oh, you thought I put Resurgence in Just One. Just One, I don't.
You've played it.
I know.
These are both shots in the dark.
No, I get you. I get you. I got it.
Yeah.
Man, 8 out of 10?
8 out of 10.
What? Oh my goodness. We're checking our house for internal mics. I'm just saying. Because that's super kind of creepy, but also cool at the same time.
Yeah.
Because at the very least, why didn't you pick this one though? Maybe because you haven't.
I didn't remember that one. I was
878
trying to think about a long time ago. Like I said, I didn't watch any of your top 100s. I didn't try to pull from anything. We just sat down and made a list.
Just thought about it.
Yeah.
Gee
so
whiz.
that's a hard one to think of. Both of those are pretty hard to think of.
I got you. Well, okay.
There we go.
I'm consistent, I guess. No, that consistent isn't the right word.
There's 4 new ones on there, 3 new ones, something on there.
Well, that one's new, and this one's new, and this one's new. Yep, 3 are new, but 5 of my top 10 are Old Faithfuls.
Yeah.
Well, really, 6 of my top 10 are Old Faithfuls.
I almost put Raiders of the North Sea on there.
Yeah. Well, that would be my bad because I forgot about Raiders of the North Sea. It probably would have made my list. It would not have made my top 10.
Sure.
It would not have made my top 10. All right.
Perfect.
Well, that's it. Bye.
Take it easy.